Be live just about now. Let's wait for the room to fill up. We got maybe about 6 minutes until the show officially starts. I'm very excited for the Rogue Ally. As you all know, I have a Steam Deck, and a couple of days ago it went kablooey. It just doesn't work anymore, and I had to send it in for RMA. And the funny thing is that it actually broke on the last day of my physical warranty from Steam, or I should say from Valve. So I was lucky there that it actually went that day, because if it went a day after that, I don't know, I might have to be fighting for the warranty to be approved. Nonetheless, I sent it out, so hopefully I get it back this week. Now, this device I am really interested in because it seems to be a lot more powerful than the Steam Deck. Um, I do like the aesthetics of it. It has an OLED screen, but there's still a lot of questions that are unanswered, like how is the battery life going to be? How much is this going to be? It's rumored to be $699 for the top model, which, if is true, is a pretty good price for what you're getting. I believe it's just maybe $50 more than the Steam Deck. So that would be a good price. I want to know how long the battery lasts. Do I have to use a specific dock to hook it into my TV? Can I use a regular USB-C? I know they do have a proprietary dock that you can put a external GPU on. I think they demonstrated it with a 4090. So there's a lot of questions that we have to be answered today. Let me just get open my phone so I can see the chat, because I'm going blind. I can't see any of you guys right now. So just give me a second here. I'm going to make my screen full here. Just give me a second. Just gotta grab my device. Okay, I'm back. I just opening up my device. Sorry, guys. I think we're about, well, you can see the timer. We're about 3 minutes and 10 seconds, 9 seconds away from the actual event starting. I'm just going to go here just to make sure that we're live. Yes, I can see that we're up and running. We're live, so that's good. Let me see if I can see the chat here. Okay, so let's try to answer some questions in the chat. Hey, Maria, what's up, man? Or Mari. No, I call you Maria. My bad. I always get your name messed up pronouncing it, but I know it's Mari Trunks. Anyways, you asked, the battery life is going to be horrible. It's smaller than the Steam Deck, if I remember correctly, and the 120 hertz screen is going to kill it. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you there. I do think that the battery life, I wouldn't be expecting the greatest battery life out of this device. It is offering you a great pack for your punch or whatever. I probably didn't say that right, but it's going to be demanding, the system, for sure. So yeah, I'm not expecting great battery life either. Like, I want to be surprised, but I'm definitely not expecting great battery life. That 120 hertz screen is definitely going to kill the battery. But I do know that they do have a low power mode. I don't know how many watts it is, but they do have a low power mode. So perhaps they'll demonstrate the low power mode and we can get extended battery life out of it with maybe, using FSR or something. I'm not sure. We're going to get most of our questions answered today. Just 1 second, guys. Sorry, it was a business call. But yeah, so yeah, don't expect great battery life out of this. Jim Harrison, what's up, man? Just call you Maria. All right, there we go. Maria. Everybody seems to have been saying lately that I got a nice voice. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't like my voice. I guess it's normal. Like my wife was telling me, it's normal not to like your voice. Most people don't like their voices. So, at least I guess I'm not abnormal not liking my voice. But a lot of you guys do say that. And, I used to do a lot of gameplay videos and I never talked on them. And I noticed that since I started talking on my gameplay videos, like I'm not talking like a news video, like a gameplay video that's just gameplay. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. So, it's... Thank you. I appreciate it. It helps me to get over some of my anxieties with hearing myself when you guys tell me that my voice sounds good. So I do appreciate that. So we got about 20 seconds here. I'm going to flip the volume on. And I'm not really going to talk throughout this event. You might get your odd woohoo or, if I'm I can't talk. If I'm ecstatic about something. But pretty much I'm not going to say anything. So we're about to start this right now. If the volume is a little bit lower, just turn it up because I have to balance it out with my vocals on top of it, and it can't be too loud. So I'm not going to really talk through the presentation, so just turn up the volume.
When video games started becoming mainstream in the 80s, they were no longer confined to arcades and living rooms. Handhelds have been part of the gaming scene as long as consoles have. From simple LCD-based portables to cartridge-based handhelds of the early 90s. And as gaming has progressed, handhelds have progressed with it, but they always fell a step behind to their console and PC counterparts. Think about the early 90s. 8 and 16-bit games brought some incredible deep gaming experience to living rooms around the world. And while handhelds of the time were a phenomenon with games like Tetris and Pokemon, plenty of those handheld games pale in comparison to their console counterparts. They were a compromise. Sure, you could play Castlevania or a Street Fighter on the go, but they didn't quite live up to the standard of the originals. In the late 90s and the early 2000s, we have entered the age of 3D graphics, allowing adventure, fantasy, sports, and other genres to explore the entire new dimension of the play. Games like Final Fantasy VII and Super Mario 64 redefined their genre with 3D graphics and the full motion video. While handhelds of the time stuck with 2D alternatives to keep gamers happy on the go, console and PC gaming kept driving forward, with adventure games and first-person shooter embracing cinematic level of polish, first in 720p, then 1080p, and finally ultra-sharp 4K. Handhelds always trail behind with compromises. Play the best games at home and settle for whatever you can get on the road. Today, some of your games again to one platform. If it works on Windows, you can run it on ROG Ally. You can play your favorite games from Steam, Epic, EA, Battle.net, and that means there's no need to buy your games again. Access your existing library anytime and pick up your cloud saves right where you left off. The ROG Ally even comes with 3 months Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for free. Xbox Game Pass offers different genres for you and your family. Hundreds of titles like Doom Eternal, Outer Wilds, and Hi-Fi Rush. You will always find something new to try. And when we say old games, we really mean it. Not sure whether a game is right for you? Wanted to try it before you download it? Launch it instantly with Xbox Cloud Gaming with no wait and no need to buy it upfront. You can even play your favorite mobile games on a larger screen, or relive your childhood with classic retro titles. If you can dream it, you can play it. We want to show you everything that makes this device so special. So we are going to talk about how we engineer its ergonomic design, run down all the specs, and show off the new software that ties it all together. Creating a handheld is no easy task. It's more personal and portable than a laptop, so every aspect has to be just right. It needs to meld with your hands, effortlessly contouring to your fingers and wrists. We want you to feel like it was just built for you, with every button and thumbstick carefully placed for a precise control. So we developed countless different form factors, repeatedly going back to the drawing boards to imagine, iterate, and refine the final body. Once we found the right general design, it was time to really get down to business. We meticulously honed each component of the body for a comfortable, ergonomic feel that didn't sacrifice thickness or portability. Perfect control starts with easy access of your thumb, your most commanding fingers on the controller. We place all the buttons at the top half of the chassis using Xbox's tried and true asymmetrical stick layouts, so everything is within easy reach and feels familiar to gamers. We use a flat dome design for the face buttons to create more comfortable feel with distinct tactile feedback. We even place 2 extra pedals at the rear of the device, which can be mapped with in-game actions or use it as a Mach modifier. The way they naturally wrap behind the handle makes them easy to reach with your fingers, but they are strong enough that you won't accidentally press them during an intense gaming session. It's important that a handheld device rests comfortably in your hands, so you can play for hours. To ensure an ergonomic fit, the top of the chassis isn't completely flat. It has a subtle 2-degree slant to more comfortably contour to the angle of your wrist, while a 14-degree slant in the corner provides a perfect resting place for your palms. Of course, you don't want the device to slip out of your hand while gaming, so we added some texture surface to keep the device secure. The engraved lines of the front secure the Ally in your hands while giving it a sleek look. The triangle texture on the handle gives you the firm grip on the device at all times. And each button is designed to survive more than 10 million presses, showing our commitment to ROG quality. Finally, it was important to us that the Ally was lightweight. After all, you want to carry it with you everywhere you go. But it was a challenge to get to that point. Originally, our prototype weighed 680 grams. In order to reduce the weight, we slimmed the heatsink fin from 0.15 millimeters to 0.1 millimeters and hollow out portions of the top case. Then we switched to a lightweight aluminum to both display bezel and the battery brackets, strengthening rigidity and bringing the total weight down to 608 grams. Even with all the relentless efforts, it's still 8 grams heavier than our original goal. The ROG Ally is our smallest Windows device yet, but it's still as immersive as ever, thanks to painstakingly optimized visual and audio experience. We knew we wanted the Ally to provide a Full HD 1080p experience, so we went with the 7-inch touchscreen to showcase those sharper graphics. At 7 inches, the 1080p resolution provides an insane pixel density of 314 ppi, providing a sharper image to all your games, movies, and streams. At 120 Hz, motion is smooth with minimal latency. Plus, as a handheld device, you expect to be able to bring Ally with you anywhere you go, even outside. That's why we pushed the brightness to 500 nits for a true game anywhere experience, whether you are on the train, in the backyard, or at the beach. For the screen surface, we turned to Corning's best-in-class Gorilla Glass Victus, which is ultra-thin and scratch-resistant. So no matter where your Ally is headed, you know it will be protected from the bumps and knocks of everyday life, just like a handheld should be. Corning also coated screen with DXC, increasing surface hardness and minimize fingerprints. Most impressively, DXC reduces the intensity of specular reflection, meaning your gameplay stays crisp and punchy even in the presence of direct lights. And with dual front-facing speakers featuring smart amp technology and Dolby Atmos, you will feel surrounded by the lifelike audio every time you drop onto the battlefield. Now, we know you are dying to see what this machine can do, so let's talk about performance. We are always striving for the top-tier graphics at ROG, and this time, we had some crucial benchmarks we wanted to hit. So we worked together with AMD to create silicon for the ROG Ally, known as Ryzen Z1, and it is truly a special piece of silicon. The AMD Ryzen Z1 is built on a 4nm process, Zen 4 architecture with 6 cores, 12 threads, and the latest RDNA 3 graphics on board. This APU provides incredible performance with the best power efficiency available in a handheld or a console today. Plus, You get the full support of AMD's excellent upscaling technology like FSR and RSR. This Ryzen Z1 chip blows past other handheld on the market. 2017's leading handheld saw only 0.39 teraflops of graphic power, while another device from 2022 managed 1.6 teraflops. But ROG Ally blazed an entirely new trail of 2.8 teraflops of graphic performance. We also work with AMD on an even more powerful silicon, the Ryzen Z1 Extreme, which is capable of whooping fast 8.6 teraflops, making ROG Ally closer to a home console than a handheld. The Z1 Extreme uses the same Zen 4 architecture with RDNA 3 graphics, but with 8 cores and 16 threads. Its insane power efficiency makes it perfect for handhelds allowing true AAA gaming on the go. So in a world without ROG Ally, handheld gaming was capable of 25 to 30 frames per second in AAA titles. The ROG Ally with Ryzen Z1 Extreme provides much smoother motion at 50 to 60 frames per second in those same titles. But with Full HD 1080p graphics, not 720p graphics you see on other handhelds. That means your game looks sharper with smoother motion. With performance like this, you can game anyway, anywhere, on your own, with friends, or in competitive scenario. When you are playing solo, you are giving yourself some me time with the latest story-driven single-player AAA games like Hogwarts Legacy, Cyberpunk 2077, or Death Stranding. With our purpose-built carrying case and Cetra wireless earbuds, you will be able to take a break from the story and pick it back up later on. The Ally can do more than just handheld play. Connect the Ally to your TV and monitors. Grab a couple of controllers and you have got a party. Take on your friends in FIFA 23, go head-to-head in Street Fighters, or dive into couch co-op with games like Overcooked and Moving Out. To make this easy, we offer an optional adapter that plugs into Ally's USB Type-C ports, charging the device and connecting an HDMI display at the same time. It even has a USB Type-A ports for other peripherals, hooking up a mouse and keyboard for productivity, 4K gaming, or competitive esports. In this setting, every bit of performance counts, so we made ROG Ally compatible with Extreme Mobile suite of external GPUs. Dock your Ally at your desk and enjoy the power of NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 laptop GPU for top-tier performance with extra ports for keyboard, mouse, monitor, Ethernet, and more. Incredible performance isn't just about graphics. The ROG Ally's PCIe Express 4.0 SSD provides blistering data transfer speeds. With this super fast drive, the Ally boots up instantly and game launches quickly to get you right into the action. If you need more storage, the Ally's UHS-2 micro SD cards allows you to expand your game libraries as much as you want without compromising those load times. The Ally LPDDR5 6400 memory keeps Ryzen APU fed with data at the moment's notice, letting Ryzen Z1 Extreme puts its best foot forwards. And with the latest Wi-Fi 6E technology on board, you will see more consistent download speeds, more reliable cloud gaming, and uninterrupted video streaming at 1080p. Just like ROG laptops, we give you complete control over this performance with our turbo, performance, and silent modes. You can adjust TGP on fly to give yourself more game time, with up to 2 hours available from performance modes in AAA games. Turn it down to silent modes for cloud gaming and video consumption, and your battery will last even longer, giving you up to 6.8 hours of entertainment on your ROG Ally, even when you are away from the wall outlets. Now let's talk about the secret sauce, ROG Intelligent Cooling. Every device we build needs to deliver maximum performance while keeping it cool and quiet. We need a different cooling paradigm to build ROG Ally. Since the hardware sits behind the screen, we have already learned how to master this type of cooling thanks to our experience with ROG Mothership and Flow Z13. The result is something we call our zero gravity thermal system, which, thanks to its quiet performance, also provides zero distraction from what's truly important, your games. We call it zero gravity because it's designed to be used in any orientation. Sitting upright in a chair, lying down in your bed, or however else you game. With ROG Ally, you can do it all with no drop in performance. To draw heat away from crucial components, we use a special kind of heat pipe, providing extra friction to increase the capillary force in the pipe, keeping gravity from interfering with the fluid inside. We also put fluid bearing in the fans, which is quieter, more durable, and create less friction when held in different type of orientations. The Ally's heatsink uses ultra-thin fins, as slim as 0.1 millimeters, which increases the total surface area by 10% for improved heat dissipation. And with dust filters on the intake vents, the inside of your device will stay cleaner and cooler. While typical handhelds uses a single fan, we knew that dual fan solution was going to provide more efficient cooling with less noise. On the left here is an ROG Ally prototype with a single fan, while the right shows the new dual fan system, keeping heat and noise to a minimum. Never settle for anything less than ROG intelligent cooling. Finally, we would like to talk about our custom software that pushes the Ally to the next level. We have been developing Armoury Crate for a long time, not just ROG desktop and laptops, but even the ROG phones. With ROG Ally, we are proud to introduce Armoury Crate SE, a special edition of Armoury Crate designed to help you play all your games on one device. We gamers are rarely satisfied with just one or two games. We have massive libraries, spanning multiple publishers and platforms. This freedom of choice is amazing, but it does split up your collection across multiple launchers. With Armoury Crate SE, we want to give you one place for all your games. The program will scan your system for installed titles and provide shortcuts to each one of them. Armoury Crate SE also provides 3 different control schemes. You can use standard gamepad modes, recognized by many games, touch control for Windows, and you can map the ROG Ally's button to mouse and keyboard for the games that support those inputs. And when you aren't gaming, you can use the thumbstick to navigate Windows desktop with a traditional cursor. You can remap buttons game by game to create truly customized experience that travel with you. Almost every button on Ally is remappable. Just open the profile for the games you want to customize and select the button you want to remap. Each button can have 2 functions mapped to it, with secondary function accessible with the paddles on the back of the device. It's not just buttons. You can customize the dead zone and range of your joystick, giving you more precision when you aim. If you want to set the dead zone larger to avoid accidental missteps, you can do that. The same goes to the buttons on the top. The trigger range is fully adjustable Armoury Crate. So if you want a weapon with a hair trigger for firing at moments of notice, it's all in your control. Customized haptic feedback built into the handles allow for incredible immersion, pulling you right into the action with whatever intensity you choose. We even included Aura Sync RGB around both thumbsticks, allowing you to choose your favorite lighting pattern for a unique style, or sync the lighting with supported titles to draw you into the game world. If you want to change settings in mid-game, you can press a single button to have a full control center at your fingertip. Adjust your performance modes, control scheme, lighting, and so much more with just a few taps. Access to popular game store, ROG Elite Rewards, and other crucial settings like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You can even record your game footage, then organize your library of screenshots and game recordings from one central location. Or edit videos and share them to the social media instantly. Thanks to Windows 11, you can do anything, game, stream, or even work from this one ultra-portable device. With Windows Hello, you can log into ROG Ally instantly with a fingerprint sensor built into the power button. So you don't have to type in long passwords every time. And with Microsoft's built-in security features, you are protected against all sorts of cyber threats. Windows Defender provides up-to-date antivirus protection, and parental control puts fans around your kids' screen time and web safety. We are incredibly proud of what we have accomplished with ROG Ally. Incredible performance, quiet operation, and a huge selection of games from multiple platforms. We are confident it will be your next favorite handheld. We know you are all excited to get your hands on this revolutionary device as soon as possible. And you want to know the price? We are excited to announce that ROG Ally with a Ryzen Z1 with 512GB of storage will be coming soon to Best Buy for only $599. It will ship in Q3. The ROG Ally with Ryzen Z1 Extreme comes with 512GB of storage will be available for $699 at Best Buy in June. Both models comes with 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for free, making this an even better deal. Check out Best Buy to pre-order this device today and team up with your Ally as soon as possible. If you want to make an absolute most of your ROG Ally, it is compatible with every model of XG Mobile. We currently offer 2 options: GC32 with AMD Radeon RX 6850M XT for only $799, and GC33 with NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 laptop GPU for $1,999. And stick around, because we will be joined by Microsoft and AMD in just a few moments to talk more about this incredible new device. Come on, let's go with me.
Wow, it's pretty crazy, man. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm trying to pre-order it at Best Buy. So yeah, I'm just gonna check out of the chat for a little bit because I'm hoping this goes live in Canada. The premium model I don't think is a bad price. The model underneath it, that's like, I think it's like 1/3 of the power. I think it should be a little bit cheaper. So if you're gonna get one, get the premium model. It makes sense. The specs are really good on this, man. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I missed a few things, like I said, because I'm trying to pre-order it. So we'll go through in our roundout. We'll go about that.
Latest gaming Windows-based handheld from ROG. Thank you for joining me here. We've got Sean from Asus, Rowan from Xbox, and Frank from AMD. And you know, the first question I think everyone's wondering is, can the Ally handle crisis?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I sure hope so. This thing is a beast. We're going to talk all about it. And you know, Sean, first and foremost, what were the biggest challenges with creating a device like this?
Yeah, so when we go through the survey with our focus group, the number one thing that they wanted is a balanced weight distributed handheld devices. And the targeted weight was 600 grams because the current handheld devices in the market today are being too heavy. It's not something that they can engage for a very long period of time. So, you know, their game time, their fun time kind of got cut down because it's not comfortable. So when we first thought about the design target for ROG Ally, was really thinking about a device that can get into gamers' hands for hours of fun time. So weight was our number one thing to overcome. And you know, I kind of covered through how we took our engineering excellence to drive the weights down. And then the second thing is about navigation. The navigation on the Ally, thinking about intuitive type of navigation experience with customers, navigating through controllers, navigating through keyboard and mouse and touch screen. And that's where it led to the end. We ended up implementing 2 ECs together, being able to run touch screen, keyboard, mouse, and the game controllers all on the same device in parallel. So those are the 2 things that we feel like was very proud of that what we have achieved.
Makes sense. Okay, so a lot of these devices run Linux or Android, but in this case you chose Windows. Why
Windows,
is that?
Of course.
Let's talk about that.
Say more.
Yeah. So let's talk about Android first. Android games, currently we have a product called ROG Phone. It's a product that we launched last month and that serviced the Android markets. But for gamers like myself, you know, in the last 5 to 10 years, I have a collection of games in different platforms. I have games in Steam, I have games in Epic, I have games in other platforms. When I think about a device that I would use for myself, I wanted to make sure the games that I already own can be played on this new handheld device. And there's no brainer. Windows is the most inclusive system for all the games. Everything that I own plays on Windows, right? And now there's Game Pass available for me to discover new games. And on the other side, as a hardware manufacturer, having the latest hardware driver supports in Windows is a huge thing for me. It's super convenient for hardware manufacturers to feel comfortable that the new technology, the new high-speed Wi-Fi, high-speed PCIe, you know, will be supported in Windows, and that's no-brainer. Windows is the choice to go.
Well, I've been using this for a little bit, and Windows does perform beautifully in this form factor. Let's talk about some of those enhancements gamers can expect with this experience from Windows.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great certainly to hear Sean talk about his experiences. And I think, you can certainly count on the power of the PC gaming community to kind of really push the bar. In terms of things we've been hearing and what we sort of see, familiarity is huge. Like, you can pick up this device and you instantly know how to use it. You don't have to figure out how to navigate and get things connected. You don't need to figure out how to pair controllers and other devices to it. You don't have to figure out where you can go find your apps. Like, all of those things are just the same thing that you are used to from the history of how you've been using the PC products before. Innovation, I think, is another really big push that we get a lot. I mean, tons of work goes into actually tailoring and optimizing the silicon with the underlying operating system to really make sure that you are getting the best performance and efficiency out of the experience. But I also look at things that we do too, like Auto HDR is a great example. You have this huge catalog and history of games, and you love those games, and they now actually play better on new hardware because we can actually light up those colors. And this is all done without the developers having to touch anything in the code base from the games that they produced, 5-10 years ago. And then I might just echo the openness. Like, to me, I think it's incredible that you can open this up and you have your Xbox app and all of your games and experiences there. You also have, your Steam store, you've got your Riot services store. So to me, the idea that we are putting the player at the center and we are acknowledging the fact that the player plays across a ton of different places in different form factors, I mean, that to me is great, and it's extensible. I think Asus has done some great things. If you look at some of their command center investments, you look at the rest of the sort of applications that they put in there, it really lights up.
Game Pass is absolutely a huge part of the equation. How do you think gamers will make the most out of this service?
Yeah, absolutely. So Game Pass for us is, it is the way that we are putting a whole collection of hundreds of titles kind of in the hands of players. It's integrated into the Windows experience with an application through the Xbox app. And to me, it's this collection not only of what we produce with Xbox Game Studios, so first party, but you also have this huge collection of third-party games that are accessible. And we've put a lot of energy into those partnerships. And so with Game Pass, you also get to be, your EA Play membership. You have a bunch of membership-only light-up experiences with Riot, like League of Legends are all kind of great examples of that. So to me, it's this blend of what you're really familiar with. You can go pick up the device and instantly play Forza Horizon 5, but then you get to discover all kinds of things that you wouldn't have otherwise maybe even thought about trying to play. Sean and I were talking before we started this recording, and he was talking about how excited he was because he found Hi-Fi Rush. And he was like, man, this game is incredible. And it only got exposure and kind of became this big thing, I think, partly because Game Pass gives you an opportunity to explore in a way that you wouldn't otherwise have had.
Never would found it if the Game Pass wasn't there.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the hardware side of things, Frank. RDNA 3, Zen 4, massive generational leap every single time. How do you guys do it?
Well, thankfully, we've been building tens of millions, hundreds of millions of gaming devices now for over a decade. So Xboxes, PlayStations, desktop computers, laptop gaming computers, and so many other devices. And we kind of know what we're doing, thankfully. And we're really proud of RDNA 3, which is our latest graphics architecture that we just announced it in November. And here it is already in this device. And what's really fascinating about RDNA 3 is it's 50% more performance per watt. That's 50% more efficiency than just the prior generation. And it's perfect for a device like this. The timing of the architecture of RDNA 3 and what the goals were for the ROG team with this device couldn't have lined up at a better time, because it's really that engineering excellence and everything we're doing with that architecture and that silicon and the process technology behind it and everything coming together at the perfect moment to enable us to get the kind of gaming experience we're delivering with this device, which is full high definition gaming in some of the most popular immersive PC games at over 60 frames per second. That's never been accomplished before in a type of device like this. So it's really just a phenomenal accomplishment, because you have to deliver performance and efficiency. And that's what makes it such a huge challenge that only RDNA 3 is able to enable.
Can you talk at all about what led to the creation of the Z1 chip?
Well, the team at ROG and Sean especially always like to give us some very ambitious challenges.
Thanks
And,
for accepting the challenge.
And this was nothing less than a very ambitious challenge, as usual. But I think the team at Asus and ROG know that it's really our engineering excellence that enables us to be able to respond with an answer to the challenges that they bring us. And when they came to us and said, these are the goals and these are the ambitions that we have with the Ally, we looked at our entire portfolio of technologies, the timing of the new technologies like Zen 4 and RDNA 3, and what the mission was for this type of a device. And our engineers went back and they started designing and defining this product specifically for this mission. And the mission it's pretty ambitious because it's not just how do you deliver the performance and the efficiency to be able to play games for hours on end in this highly mobile form factor, but Sean and the team wanted to also scale it to being able to be a desktop replacement type of solution as well with the XG Mobile. So you can attach the XG Mobile and like ultra boost your graphics capability even higher than what's built into this. So the scalability of that challenge was really something that our engineers were really excited about, and that ultimately is what led to us defining this unique product here for this.
Can you talk at all about overcoming the challenges of developing this really tight power envelope of the 30 watts?
Yeah, it is a big challenge. Thankfully, we've been building highly efficient and highly performant APUs now for over 5 years. If you think about what gaming laptops looked like and 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, they were pretty thick in their form factor, and they could be 30 millimeters, weigh 6, 7 pounds. And what we started to do at AMD is really change the game around what kind of performance we can deliver in thinner form factors and really helping make gaming laptops more mobile. And we've done some amazing work together with products like the G14, which is
beautiful product.
It's my favorite product right now. It's what I carry with me everywhere I go. And if you look at that product, it's a 14-inch laptop at an incredible form factor, an incredible size and weight, and the performance is just amazing in that. And it's thanks to those challenges and that work that we've been doing together for the last 5, 6 years that has enabled us to gain the experience to take on this next challenge, this next evolution in that challenge. But look, it's our Zen architecture. Our Zen architecture has really disrupted the market in what kind of performance is possible in these lower watt packages, these lower watt TDPs. We've been able to deliver it now in 45 watts, 35 watts, and even lower, 15 watts. And with this challenge in 30 watts and the kind of performance that we're delivering here. And then you pair that with our RDNA 3 architecture, which again is cutting edge, just announced in November of 2022. And we've been uniquely able to combine those two things into one chip like no other company's been able to do before to take on the challenge of this product. And I think it's really a really interesting inflection point in our industry, because it's the first time that we're seeing that kind of performance in a package like this that can deliver the kind of gaming experiences across the entire Game Pass portfolio of 720p, 1080p, 60 frames per second. That's just been unheard of up to now.
That power efficiency makes the Ally an insanely good device for cloud gaming as well as native gaming. But when we talk about Xbox cloud gaming, where do you see a device like the Ally driving that forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to think about who is the customer of this going to be. And if you think about that, it's pretty fascinating, because to me, this is like the ultimate mobile accessory for somebody who is a PC gamer. And you have this huge catalog of games, and PC Game Pass certainly helps you with that. But with Game Pass Ultimate, which, Asus is actually, kudos to them, put 3 months of PC Game Pass free integrated into the Ally device purchase. So Game Pass Ultimate, you now actually unlock a bunch of console games. And so now you can actually, as a console player, this is also my ultimate mobile accessory. And so I can actually now use this to take all of the games I love with me on the go. And so now you have not only the PC customer having these mobile experiences, you have console customers having these mobile experiences. So to me, that's really unique. Like, I get pretty excited about the idea that the device is now finally catching up to the content. Like, for a while, we've seen the same games in both of these places, and now finally you actually have a single device that's capable of kind of lighting up both of those experiences and bringing some of those player communities together.
What I love about Game Pass too is how you have the cloud option or the local install option as well. So, you know, maybe you're kind of rushing to class, or you're on a short subway trip or short bus trip or something. You only have 20, 30 minutes or something. You have Wi-Fi. You can experience something new. You can discover something new without having to wait to download and install and make the investment in all that time and space. And I think that's really unique about Game Pass and really unique about what this device offers.
And you just get more time to try out different games that's through cloud, right? So a huge benefit for me.
And there's hundreds of games.
Native and cloud, like that's a really compelling combination.
It's not just time too, it's also accessibility.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Incredible
Absolutely.
accessibility towards games.
And there's a difference in battery life, I think you'll see, right? If you have a good internet connection and you can play the games on the cloud, you're gonna get longer battery life because there's less burden on the product when it's doing that.
Even the silicon is efficient.
Yeah, and the silicon's very efficient, but you know, obviously processing that at a data center and at a server is going to be, and just, you know, sending down the already processed feed for decompression is going to be a lot more efficient than rendering it locally on the device. But that flexibility, it's, I think, the first device of its kind to ever have that type of flexibility, and that's really, really compelling. It's just a really great value proposition.
So do you see continued use of APUs in this form factor, like long term, and like what do you think the evolution is going to be in this?
You know, it's interesting because AMD acquired ATI, a graphics company, over a decade ago, and it was really, the vision was to be able to make APUs, high performance and highly capable APUs. And that's led to us being able to do that in ultra-thin laptops, like we talked about earlier. But I think this device really demonstrates the realization of that vision from over a decade ago, where it's about being able to do what's never been done before and enabling form factors and use cases that have never been possible before in our industry. And here we are. It's a very proud moment for our company because it really helps to rationalize to folks like that original vision and opportunity that we saw in acquiring that company, making that investment, bringing the companies together, bringing the intellectual property portfolios together. That has led to us developing some of the most amazing gaming consoles that are out there today in the market, including with our friends at Microsoft. And now this is like the next proof point of what's possible from that original vision.
Sean, we talked a lot about, you know, gaming natively, gaming on cloud, and gaming on the go, but you guys also included the option to connect the XG Mobile to this device.
Right.
What led you guys to want to do that?
Yeah, so XG Mobile was a product that we developed for gamers like us. So XG Mobile was first introduced 3 years ago, and before XG Mobile, all the external graphics are like desktop type of graphics cards. When you need to power the desktop graphics card externally, you need an enclosure plus a heavy power supply, right? You need 400 watts of power supply just to power the graphics card. You know, if you want to have external graphics card to take with you, it needs to be portable. So it never made sense for us. And then when you think about the bandwidth limitations, back then was Thunderbolt, right? You don't get the full power that the performance was able to pump out of the graphics card. We wanted to make a better product, and that's where XG Mobile was introduced with the ROG Flow series. We have the masculine gaming laptops that has all the power you need, but we also have thin and light convertible 2-in-1 gaming laptops like the ROG Flow and ROG Zephyrs. For the graphics that you only needed when you wanted it, then XG Mobile was a perfect use case. Now, we started ROG Ally about 5 years ago, and we always wanted to think about the expansion of ROG Ally. So when XG Mobile was becoming a product with Flow, we wanted to be a device that you can share in the family. So maybe in the family you have people who owns ROG laptops as well as ROG handheld like Ally, and you can share one XG Mobile. So it's very cost efficient. XG Mobile today has a Radeon graphics card, Radeon 6850M XT, and it also has the most powerful 4090 as well. So it offers that flexibility to the user when you need to upgrade it, when you need it on the road. You know, that's something that's truly portable.
You know, when we look at the modern ecosystem in gaming, gamers have more and more control of what kind of settings they can manipulate to maximize the performance of their game. What kind of settings has AMD built into this device to enhance that experience?
Well, some of the settings you won't see because of our long work with game developers on building, you know, console games to be optimized on AMD hardware, PC games to be optimized on AMD hardware. our tools, our APIs, our SDKs, our engagement with the game developers goes deep into the game developers. They're developing, they're optimizing, they're testing, they're validating on Ryzen, Radeon, and AMD technology. But over and above that, we have several software tools that the gamers themselves can use to get more performance or better image quality out of their gaming experience, depending on what their needs are and what they're trying to ultimately accomplish. One of those really cool tools that we call Radeon Super Resolution, or RSR for short. And what RSR does is it allows you, if you're not maybe getting the frames per second that you want out of a game, maybe you put something really challenging on this device, or a game 2, 3, 4 years from now that can be a little bit more challenging, you can turn on RSR and it'll upscale your game to a higher resolution from, let's say, 720p. It'll upscale it to like 1080p, full high definition. And to the game and to the processor, it's running that game at a lower resolution at 720p, but we are upscaling it in the rendering path to 1080p. So you see a 1080p visual experience, but the processor thinks it's rendering at 720. It actually is natively rendering at 720p. So you're getting about 25, in some cases 50% more performance out of the system. So if you're on the edge there, you can't get that 60 FPS. Asus has developed a really cool command center interface where you just press a button, menu comes out, you turn on RSR, and you can get that huge performance boost out of the game just by pressing one button, basically.
Let's talk a little bit about the thought process of creating, this Armoury Crate and command center and all the different shortcuts and tools that these gamers will have with the Ally.
Yeah, so we want the optimization to be easily accessible. Like ISR, for example, frame rates and resolutions are eye candies for gamers like us. It shouldn't be a process that you need to go into the control center and kind of launch it. It should be a shortcut. You just bring it out, launch it. Not only that, the command center has a bunch of new features like you can monitor your FPS, you can do an FPS limiter. There's a bunch of optimization that you can add to the command center. This is all, on a gaming experience, you don't really want to go through different settings. It just gives you one simple menu and make it easier for a gamer.
Now, Rowan, this definitely feels like a turning point for handheld gaming. Where do you see both Windows and Xbox going from here?
Yeah, like I said, I really think this is going to appeal to both a console customer and a PC customer. But I'm also excited about how many people think about this now as their entry actually into PC gaming. I think it's certainly more approachable. Like, I've got kids, like, conversations in my house are whether they get to use it in the back seat when we're driving places, So for me, I actually think this is kind of an interesting step in a really creative way where you still get this full fidelity experience. And then, you can dock this thing and have your big screen TV experience. You can have your desktop experience if that's what you need. So to me, there's a lot of flexibility, and I can't predict where it's going to go, but I'm excited about the appeal that I think it has both to a PC player, a console player, and actually as just a new to gaming customer.
And what's really, I think the flexibility and the openness can't be understated, because you can do anything and everything you can do on your Windows PC today on this device. That's the magic of having Windows on it. So if you like using Discord, for example, just fire up Discord and use it with your friends.
Yep.
If, hey, you know what, you got to do a little bit of homework, maybe this is the only device that you brought with you, get a keyboard, mouse, hook it up to a TV, and now you can do a little bit of work, homework on it if you need to.
Kind of going back to just like the community side of things, there really has always been a PC community and a console community. And in the recent years, we've gotten crossplay where those communities have started to mingle and interact with each other more and more and more. But this really feels like it's fully bridged the gap and blurred that line. So what do you think the future looks like in that space?
Like, I think it's like this, it really is this magical combination, I think, of what Asus has developed in the actual form factor itself, the silicon that's powering this to give you that experience, but then also like Windows plus Game Pass. Like, some of the stats that we have on Game Pass are pretty interesting. We're seeing 20% growth actually of Game Pass customers who are using the service across 3 or more devices. So it just starts, it just starts to show, I think, how flexible people are, and like the fact that they are opening up and no longer locked into one specific form factor. And I think the Ally is going to accelerate that. The other thing is what does this actually mean for developers too? I think that the engagement that we're actually now seeing, like on Game Pass, our customers basically have said they're now playing 30% new genres. They're playing 40% more games. And 90% of them have basically said they're playing a title that if it wasn't for Game Pass, like Q Hi-Fi Rush, you know, I never would have actually played that game. So to me, there's this direct correlation to the service of having 100, you know, hundreds of games at your fingertips and increasing your engagement. And so for a developer, now they actually have a way to get in front of more players.
And discoverability is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to games.
Yep.
So you guys cater all this.
Right. You cater all of that. And you know, honestly, like developers, as much as their primary job is to deliver this delightful experience, they do have a business to run. Yeah. And so this idea that now there's minutes in the day that previously you wouldn't have been able to get exposure to because you were either locked to your desk or you were locked to your couch, you know, now you have more minutes. Like you have more minutes that you can capture. So both the share of time and then hopefully the share of wallet. I think that becomes really compelling to a developer because it both gets more people playing and hopefully also helps them make more money in the process.
Yeah, I really feel like this kind of performance on a handheld seemed like a pipe dream not too far long ago. Where do you see the future of the handheld space going?
Well, I think it's the ROG Ally is an inflection point for the industry and for gamers around the world. You know, what our teams, and we just get to be here representatives of the incredible teams that around the world work for us and we're able to make this possible. But what those teams have been able to accomplish between the performance, the efficiency, the ergonomics, the size, the weight, the openness, the compatibility, everything that we've talked about here today, it's remarkable. And it really proves how far technology has come for gamers. Like this is all developed for gamers, right? Like Game Pass and Microsoft's effort, and ROG and AMD coming together. This wasn't taking off-the-shelf components and like slapping them together. This was done for gamers for the purpose of leading a revolution in how gamers game and how they think about buying devices and how they think about taking their gaming with them and gaming being a bigger part of their life for them. So I think we're going to see this be a category that is going to expand in products and sizes and shapes and colors and price points and features and all these different things. And this is going to be a springboard for a bunch of innovation out there and a bunch of inspiration in the industry. And I think ultimately gamers are going to really gravitate to this type of a device because, I mean, we've been selling hundreds of millions of gaming laptops now for 2 decades, nearly. And gaming laptops are awesome and I love them, right? But there's always been this limitation of the battery life hasn't been great on them, or where can you actually use it in a mobile environment? You know, plane seats have gotten smaller as over time, over those 20 years as well. But this is finally a device that, you know, we can actually play everywhere and anywhere, and it's easy to carry with you, and it's truly putting thousands of games in your pocket with you anywhere you want to go. You're no longer confined by the size of your storage device because you got the cloud capability of Game Pass, which is you get into instant games thanks to that capability. We have a technology called AMD Link. So if there's a game that you have on your AMD-powered desktop at home, for example, and maybe it's not a Game Pass game, but you want to play it instantly, you can connect with our technology to your desktop at home and play that game as if your desktop was a server, for example. So there's all these innovations that have been developed over the years, all this technology, and it's just come together now into this device that takes advantage of all of it. And I think people are going to really start to recognize and realize just what's possible with all the innovation and technology and everything that's finally come together into this just incredible experience.
John, I kind of have the same question for you. Where do you see, you know, ROG gaming going in the future, and how is the Ally going to help drive that forward?
Gaming is one of the most engaged entertainment, and gaming is education as well. You know, when I grew up, I learned history through Age of Empires.
Yep.
And then my kids create their own worlds in Minecraft. And gaming is art. It's hyper-realistic graphics that kind of plug you into the epic stories of the games. With ROG, we want more time for people to game. That's why we have desktops, we have laptops, we make components for you to build your own desktops. We have ROG phones. Now we have a gaming handheld, which make PC games mobile, right? So, you know, the scenario of playing games at the back seats in the air are now possible. And with all this time that gamers can have access to their beloved PC gaming contents, we also hope the publishers to think about, the hard work they actually put into creating these games will be enjoyed, right? And we hope they think about, all these PC games is no longer confined to a laptop, desktop type of scenario, is now on the go. And
maybe I'll build on that a little bit, because like I will say for sure it's been pushing us on the platform side of things. How do we think about the idea of you start on your PC and then you just want to take this with you and you want to pick up where you left off and you want to be immediately ready to go. Like console has some of those capabilities with Quick Resume today. How do we think about integrating this into the Windows platform? How do we think about really working with developers and publishers, not just our own, but also more broadly with third party? And I feel like now we can drive more of that commitment to quick save, to crossplay, and really having that be something that is truly delightful as you navigate across the breadth of devices you'll have. And the Ally, I think, is making us think differently about some of those experiences.
Yeah, you're also, the other thing to consider is, the most popular handheld gaming device that's sold out there today, and the ones that sells in tens of millions of units, that device has pretty much evolved very slightly over time. And it has 1/20th the amount of processing power that the ROG Ally has in it.
A very limited catalog of games.
A very limited catalog of games. There's no guarantee that that catalog of games will be forward compatible. It certainly wasn't backwards compatible before that device existed. So when I say this is an inflection point and this is changing the game, no pun intended, just think about what everyone loves about PC and console gaming today is coming together into this. You're going to see technology transitions that are going to be more frequent. You're going to have the guarantee that it's going to work with the library of Windows games that are out there, not just in the past, not just today, but also in the future. It's a game changer all around.
Man, I am excited for that future to happen. And well, I just want to thank you all so much for joining us here today. I mean, this has been extremely insightful, super cool to everyone that joined to watch the ROG Ally launch event. It is for pre-order right now, and it'll be available on June 13th.
June 13th.
So we are really close.
Yes.
Thank you all again. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
So I guess that's pretty much it. Let me kill the volume here. So that's pretty much it for the show. I gotta say, I was impressed, man. I know some people aren't happy about the price of the lower model, and I do think that that model should be cheaper. But overall, I think it's a good value for what you're getting. Let me just put back this video here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I think it's a great value for what you're getting, because you're not just getting a handheld gaming device that plays your PC games. You're getting a full-fledged PC. You can hook this up to a monitor and get the full PC, the full Windows 11 experience. You can hook up your keyboard and mouse and do your productivity stuff. It has a pretty good APU, man. Like, you're getting 8 cores, 16 threads. This is Zen 3. So you're getting a lot of value for it. So I think it's more value than the Steam Deck. I just got to be honest. And I own a Steam Deck, but this is just gives you more value, because right off the bat, you can play your PC games natively. Yes, I know on the Steam Deck, you can play your games. You got to do some modifications to the software, and you can get Windows 11 running on it, but it doesn't run efficiently, and there's a lot of quirks to it, where this right out the box is tuned to work with Windows 11. It's tuned to work with all your games. You can play your Epic Store games. You can play your EA games, your Ubisoft games, your Steam games, your Game Pass games, your Xbox games natively. So this is a crazy device. I would go as far as to say that this is Xbox's handheld device, really and truly. Is it better than the Series S? You got a lot of upgrade options. You can put an external GPU on this. They announced the RTX 4090 mobile, which is not a full 4090, obviously, because it's mobile, but it does give you about an RTX 3080 performance, which is nothing to laugh at. So you can hook this up to your Asus Rog Ally, hook it to a monitor, and you're getting performance of an RTX 3080. You're getting 4K Ultra. You're getting, DLSS performance. You're getting great performance out of it. Now, it is costly. That add-on, I can't remember the exact price right now. Maybe someone can help me in the chat. But it is quite expensive for the RTX 4090 mobile. However, they do have an option for a AMD RX 6800M mobile. And that is $799 US. Still pricey, but to upgrade your Asus Rog Ally to play at least 1440p, and I would say maybe some games at 4K high settings, it's still a good option. It's almost comparable to a desktop, a little bit, but you have the flexibility of being able to take this device with you anywhere. Now, there was a few things that I did miss because I've been trying to get this pre-order. I see the pre-order did go live in the States. Unfortunately, it has not gone live in Canada yet, and I'm sitting here like a madman hitting my phone, hitting refresh on it, hoping that it pops into stock. So it hasn't popped into stock, so I've been a little bit distracted. But I don't know if they confirm the screen is an OLED screen. I know that they confirmed that it has VRR, that it is 120 hertz. But if somebody could tell me in the chat if they confirm this to be an OLED screen, that would be really helpful. Just give me 1 second here. I got to get the chat back up. I see a lot of you guys in the chat pre-ordered at Best Buy USA. Z Black Rider says it's $2,000. Oh, there we go. They just showed the screen there. It's an IPS screen. So it's not an OLED screen. There we go. There's a spec. Let me rewind that there. Hold on a second, guys. All right, so there we go. There we have the specs of the screen. So 120 hertz touch display with FreeSync Premium. It's 1080p resolution. Your contrast ratio is 1 to 1000, which is okay. sRGB 100%, which is good. Wide viewing angle. It's an IPS screen, so I'm a little bit disappointed there. So the rumors were not true. It's not an OLED screen. That would have been killer at that price point if it was an OLED screen. An OLED screen makes a big difference. I repurchased a Nintendo Switch simply for the OLED screen. And although it's not a hardware update per se, it's just a screen that was updated. The screen makes a big difference in the experience that you get when you're playing games. Your contrast, your depth, the motion, everything just looks better on an OLED. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not seeing an OLED screen here. It's an IPS, which is not really my favorite type of screen, to be honest with you. I prefer a VA screen. Yes, I know some people don't like VA screens because of the off-axis performance, so maybe it makes sense that an IPS screen is in the handheld. But a VA screen is just, it's more vibrant. You get better contrast. I just prefer it overall. So that's one area of disappointment. Yeah, it is what it is. But overall, the device is excellent. Just press play on the video there. 1 second, guys. Let me just read through the chats here. Yeah, it really did seem like almost like an Xbox event. Like, okay, let's not get it twisted. It was an Asus launch event for sure, and they went into all the details. But the second half of the presentation, they really concentrated a lot on Game Pass and how you can play your titles on there and the importance of Game Pass. They gave us some new metrics. A lot of Game Pass owners are playing 30% different genres that they wouldn't play before, that people are playing games that they would never play before. This gentleman here that's presenting right now, he said that he found Hi-Fi Rush in Game Pass and that he would never have played that game if it wasn't for Game Pass. So that's great. So we see it has also a Gorilla Glass Victus screen, which is pretty good for a handheld. You don't want to get it scratched up when you're transporting it around, or just leaving it on your desk and maybe you drop something on it. So that's pretty good. I like that they have this special screen that reduces the reflections on it. I still would probably put a protective screen, a screen protector on this, but it's nice that they did put some measures in there to prevent you from scratching the screen. I like that it has Dolby Atmos. It has, it emulates 5.1, which is really good. And the performance is fantastic on this. Now you have two models. One model is about 1/3 of the performance of the top model, and that model, it's not available yet. I think it's going to be available in the third quarter of this year. This model is going to be, I believe it's a Z1 Premium, whatever. It's going to be available June 13th. and it is available right now for pre-order. It's up on Best Buy USA, and like I said previously, I'm still waiting for it to go live on Best Buy Canada. Let's check right now. I'm gonna check here, see if this thing is up. Okay, it's still not live, which is okay because I'd rather actually purchase it on my computer than my phone. It's just easier for me to jump through the hoops. The performance now. So it has 6 core. The Z1, the lower model, I believe it has 6 cores and 12 threads, and the higher model has 8 cores and 16 threads. Now this is where they talk about the teraflop performance. I think the 2017 model, I think they're probably talking about the Switch here. The 1.6, I'm pretty sure, is the Steam Deck, and at 2.8 teraflops, you have the Rogue Ally, and the Extreme is at 8.6 teraflops. That is a lot of performance in a handheld. That's very close to a PlayStation 5. Now I'm gonna have to look at all the numbers to make sure they're not, fudging the math here to get the 8.6 teraflops. But 8.6 teraflops for a handheld device is a lot. It's on the Zen 4 architecture. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you're expected to get 50 to 60 frames per second on the Extreme. And I believe that if you would change your presets, that you could probably, if you played it on high or medium or competitive settings, you'd probably get a little bit higher. They also have not FSR, but they're upscaling technology. They have it built into this device through Armoury Crate, where you can take a 720p resolution and upscale it to 1080p, and of course, get better performance because you're running it at a lower resolution. But it's being upscaled in such a way that it looks like 1080p natively. So that's also very good for the handheld, especially for demanding games. I would say like Hogwarts, like Cyberpunk, like Star Wars Jedi. Now here they're advertising their headphones and their earbuds. I wouldn't be really getting those. I'm not spending Asus money on that. But the device is excellent. And the fact that you can connect it externally to your television, and that's without a GPU, that's via a USB-C cable, is really cool. And I also like the fact that you can hook up an external GPU. They're showing the box here and the additional adapter. And you can hook this up to your TV. You can hook in a 4090, like I said previously, as well as a 6850M mobile. So you got a lot of options here. And like I said, I think you're getting great value for your dollar. Just excuse me for a second as I try to see if it's still available at Best Buy. And it is not. Now, I see a lot of you guys in the chat got your orders confirmed. So I'm happy for you guys. You know that meme with that little kid and he's folding his arms. He's like, I'm really happy. I'm so happy for you guys. That's me right now. I'm extra salty because I don't have my pre-order and I want to pre-order this. And how is this going to affect Steam, the Steam Deck? They're going to have to lower the price on this, in my opinion. There's no way they can continue to charge the same amount. Especially, look, you're getting a PCIe 4.1 SSD in there. So your games are going to load up quickly. Your operating system is going to be very snappy. And it also supports a micro SD card. So, honest to tell you, it's blowing the Steam Deck out of the water. So I would probably expect a price drop on the Steam Deck sooner rather than later. I'm probably going to keep my Steam Deck, to be honest with you guys, because I do like the touchpads on it. And I think it makes a good comparison against the Rogue Ally when I do my videos and when I'm on Twitter or when I'm just discussing the devices. It's good that I have another device that is similar that I can compare it to the Asus Rog Ally. It's a way I can compare their battery lives. So for me, it makes sense to keep both devices, but I don't see a lot of people keeping both devices, and I see a lot of people already starting to sell their Steam Deck. So I think Valve is going to have to respond here and lower the price of their Steam Deck, because it's just not competing spec-wise with the Rogue Ally. Now, they say heavy gaming up to 2 hours in performance mode. Notice the asterisk there, performance mode. So when it's not in performance mode, the rumors were right and the predictions in the chat were right. I think we're probably going to get maybe an hour out of this in handheld mode in full blast with everything maxed out. I think you're going to get an hour to maybe an hour and 20 minutes. So you might want to have a portable charger or one of those power packs handy when you're using your Rogue Ally. The cooling does seem very impressive. It's a lot of Asus talk, so I don't want to get too caught up in it, but I do believe that it is going to be a efficiently cooled system. I would think that they would have put the proper R&D into this device to make sure that it's running very cool, especially for all the power that it's packing. Now, I'm going to pause you guys for 1 second here once again as I go in here and I check to see if it's available in Canada, and it's still not live yet. So you guys in the States that were able to get it, you're very lucky. I see a lot of people in the chat. I do have a lot of people that watch this channel from Europe, so shout out to all my European people. Shout out to all the German people that watch me. Shout out to everybody that watches me all over the world. I do appreciate your support. Lately, I've been feeling rejuvenated with my YouTube, and I'm back in full-fledged. I'm going to be putting in a lot more effort into my videos. I'll be posting a lot more stuff on the channel. A couple of years ago, I would say like 4 years ago, things were going pretty good on YouTube. I had a son, and life changes, and I just wasn't able to put out the videos as much as I would like to. So I still put out videos just to let you guys know that I'm here. And then also the pandemic happened, and then there wasn't a lot of things to talk about. I would say for the last year there wasn't really a lot of things to be excited about. There wasn't a lot of gaming stuff to talk about. And in the last 6 months, things have changed a bit, and there's more things to talk about in the gaming landscape, so I'm back at it. And I also think I'm going to be doing some other content. Like, I like to talk about entertainment, I like to talk about pop culture. There's a lot of other things that I like to talk about, and I'll fill you guys in that later as I figure it out. But that is another area where I'd like to get into doing stuff. And yeah, I just got to figure that out. But right now we're talking about gaming stuff. And Armoury Crate. I saw a lot of people in the chat saying, oh my God, it's got Armoury Crate and Armoury Crate sucks. Now, personally, I don't find Armoury Crate so bad. I really do not find it bad. I use it on most of my PCs, personal PCs. They have an Asus motherboard. And I usually get it for the RGB controls. I like RGB. And no matter the device, if you hook it onto your Asus system, through Armoury Crate, you're able to control it. So I like Armoury Crate. I only use it for RGB, mind you. I don't use it for overclocking or any other thing related to my PC, just for the RGB control. And like I said, it's awesome. Some people don't like it, but I think looks like it's pretty well implemented. I think the implementation is well done on the Asus Rog Ally, that you're able to switch off, switch onto it right away and change the settings in the game. How you're able to remap all the buttons, how you're able to integrate your mouse and keyboard and all the lighting. Once again, you get the Asus Crate lighting, the RGB lighting controls that you can use if you hook up your keyboard, your mouse, and of course on the joysticks here that you see in the video. So overall, I don't think Asus Rog is that bad. Now, I want to see how well optimized this system is on Windows 11. There were some complaints. I saw Linus did a video and he was like, yeah, I couldn't get some of the settings on Windows up when I was playing my games, and there were certain things I couldn't do, and I was clicking things and it didn't respond. So I hope that's something that they fixed, and I would assume they wouldn't be launching it like that. Asus pretty much makes good products. Now, the price points of some of Asus products, I'm not going to lie, they are expensive, and sometimes I don't feel, even though they are good quality, I don't feel the price justifies it. So I got to admit, I'm pleasantly surprised by the price of the Asus Rog Ally, at least the Extreme one. I think it's a good bang for your buck. Now, the tier under it, I don't know, for $100 less, it does seem like you're getting a fairly less capable machine. And I wouldn't really recommend that machine, even if you're trying to save some money. That extra $100, I think it's just well put to yourself as an investment into the Extreme Edition of the Rog Ally. I just wouldn't be getting the lower tier model for $100 less. Now, Maria Trunks in the chat was saying that he believes it should be even $100 lower than that, so $200 less than the Z1 Extreme. And I have to agree, I do believe it should be $200 lower. So that's not coming out until the third quarter of this year, so they have enough time to fix that. Oh yes, the fingerprint unlock. Now that is excellent. With Windows Hello, you can unlock with your fingerprint. There's a fingerprint scanner. I believe it's on the power button, which is really going to help with logging into a lot of stuff. I hate logging into a lot of stuff, and this is really going to speed up the process, which it should be. It's a handheld. You don't want it to be as cumbersome as a PC. You want to just be able to turn it on, fire up your games, and get going. And I think that this Windows Hello is a great addition to it. The screen is 500 nits, which is really bright. I'm going to assume that it supports HDR. I didn't hear it. I did hear towards the end they were talking about auto HDR, so I don't see how they could be talking about auto HDR if the screen doesn't have HDR. So 500 nits is pretty good for a handheld. For HDR, I tend to want it closer to 1,000 nits, but for a handheld, 500 is fine. And the fact that you're going to get auto HDR on your Xbox games is excellent. It's a great addition. The fact that you can play your Game Pass titles on this is awesome. So you don't have to download it and take up all the space on your Rogue Ally. But if you do want to download the games, you do have the option. Let's just pause it here. Hold on. We're going to pause it here at the specs. You do have the option of installing your games natively on this device. So it's not just a Game Pass device. You can install your games natively on the Rogue Ally. Now here we have the full specifications. You have the Z1, which is retailing for $599 US, up to 2.8 teraflops, 512 gigabyte Gen 4 SSD. It will be available for sale in the third quarter of this year. And of course, today they announced that the Z1 Extreme with 8.6 teraflops, 512 gigabytes of Gen 4 SSD will be available on the 13th of June for purchase in stores, and pre-orders went up today. They're live in the USA. And like I've said previously, I'm just refreshing like a madman here as I do this live stream to see if it's coming into stock at Best Buy Canada. And unfortunately, as of this moment, it still has not come into stock. So I'm going to just have to wait. Maybe I would assume that it would go live today, but it's Canada, so maybe it'll go live another day. I just doesn't make sense to me. I think it's going to go live some point today. So at least I'm hoping. So if you're Canadian, you're watching this live stream, just keep checking Best Buy. It should go live today. At least I hope so. So yeah, overall, I'm really impressed. Oh, another thing I got to discuss. They're giving you 3 months free Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is awesome. So if you have an Xbox, you'll be able to enjoy this on your Xbox. You'll be able to enjoy it on the Rogue Ally. You'll be able to enjoy it on your PC. And they're giving you 3 months of this. So they're really pushing Game Pass. They're really pushing the Xbox ecosystem with this. And I got to say, I'm just impressed. I'm excited and I'm impressed for this device. It comes with 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 dual channel memory at 6,400 megahertz, which is really good, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me go into the chat to see what you guys are saying. I've been kind of rambling on for the last, 10 minutes. And I see some of you guys are still here. So I appreciate you guys that are still here after the presentation. That lets me know that you didn't just come here for the presentation. You came here to spend some time with me and to talk about this device. And I do appreciate that. Please hit the like button. Share this out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to me. I put out a lot of content. I put out PC content. I put out a lot of Xbox content, a lot of Xbox game content, and I even put out some PlayStation content as well. It's not as much as the other content, but when Sony has a big release game, I do put out some gameplay, or if they have a big topic or a hot topic of the day, I do discuss it. But we're mostly an Xbox and PC channel with a little sprinkle of PlayStation on the side because I'm a gamer. I play on all platforms. I even play on Nintendo. I don't really cover Nintendo stuff on the channel because I don't play Nintendo as much. It's more when I'm spending time with my kids. But I cover PlayStation, Xbox, PC, tech stuff, basically. That's what I cover on this channel. So if you're into that type of stuff, subscribe to my channel. I try to put out good quality content. At least all of my content is high quality, whereas it's 4K, it's 60. Even my live streams are 4K. So we're going to put this back on play here. Let this continue to play out. Let me know what you guys thought about today's presentation. Let me know. I'm just going to stick around in the chat here because I see there's a lot of you guys in here. I see some of you guys want to know about the thermals. Well, it does seem to have a vapor chamber in there. They seem to have some good pipes in there. I'm going to assume that it's going to be well cooled, but of course we're going to have to wait till reviewers get this in their hands, until I get it in my hands and I can test it out for myself. Now here they're talking about the mobile processors. $2,000 for the RTX 4090 mobile. That is ridiculous. That is more than the RTX 4090 regular edition. I don't know where they're going with that price. That is definitely overpriced. But the 6800 or the 6850 MXT is reasonable at $799. I do think that's a reasonable price point. Asus products are kind of more for the enthusiast gamer, more for the person that has deep pockets. Like I said, I do think that the Asus Rog Ally does have a good price. That 4090 though, the external one, that ain't it. That price is horrible. Yes, it does have 2 fans instead of 1 like the Steam Deck. So I do expect it to be quieter than the Steam Deck, as well as better, more efficiently cooled. The Steam Deck, I don't really find it particularly loud, to be honest with you. So there are some reports that it is loud. Maybe I just got the fans, the iterations of the fans that weren't so loud. I believe there's another set of fans initially that came with it that kind of whistled and hummed when they ramped up. I did not experience that. Although my Steam Deck at times did get hot. You would feel that hot air blowing out. So that's an experience that I hope I don't experience on the Rog Ally. And I don't want to over exaggerate. It's not like it was like extremely hot, like burning my lap or anything like that. It wasn't. It felt cool in the hands. It's just when you put your hands towards the vent, you could definitely feel the hot air being blown out. Danny Passion has said that Best Buy has it available in the USA, that he's from Florida. Try the zip code 34743 if you're in Florida, and it should pop up. Sean said Best Buy charged me instantly. It might be a pre-authorization charge. I don't know if you're using a debit Visa. If you use a debit Visa, they do a pre-authorization where they take it off and they put it back on. In my experience, Best Buy, they don't charge until they ship. And I've been ordering like for a long time from Best Buy. It might be different in the States. I don't think it is. But in Canada, they definitely don't charge until they ship it. Amazon is the same way too. They don't charge you until they ship it. If you have like a debit Visa, they do a pre-authorized charge, but then they put it back on in a couple of days, and then they charge you when the device ships. So if you do see a charge, it might be because you used a debit Visa. I'm just going to try to go through some of this chat here. Yeah. No, I know the hot air is supposed to be blowing out. Yes, of course. But you want less hot air being blown out. And if it's being cooled more efficiently, the temperature of the air being blown out won't be as hot. I don't want to say like it's like, a hairdryer being blown out of the Steam Deck, but I do feel the hot air being blown out. But you are correct. It is doing its job by blowing the hot air out for sure. That means that it's keeping the system cool. And, I've never experienced any type of throttling on my Steam Deck. So I don't want to say that it overheats or anything like that. I just was making a remark that I definitely feel the heat coming out of it. But yeah, you are correct. So Sean just confirmed. He says, I'm right. They did take off the charge. So there you go. So yeah, don't worry about it. If you pre-order from Best Buy, they're not going to charge you until it ships. And I think that's a good way to decide if you want the device, to hear more things that comes out, because I do believe this device is going to be sold out. I do believe that it's going to be hard to get it launched. And you're going to get those numbnuts that are going to try to scalp this thing. So I would try to get this device as soon as you can if you are interested in it. I think it's going to be a hot device just for the portability of it, just for the relative ease of use, that you don't have to put any type of special software in there to get your entire PC catalog. So, this will even support emulation because this is a full Windows PC. I don't want to go all into the emulation because I know people are divided on that, but it will support emulation. So, in essence, you could play your Switch games on this. You could play your Xbox games on this. You can play your Steam games on this. You can play your Epic Store, your Ubisoft. You can play all of your PC games on this device. You could also use it to stream your PlayStation games because this is a full-fledged PC. So there's a lot of options here. I see a lot of value with it. I think the top model, I think they priced it right. I think it's the correct price. Of course, I would like it cheaper, but I feel it's priced good for what you're getting. It's just the model underneath. I think they're gonna have to revise that plan, or that price, or the strategy for releasing that lower tiered model. And it's not releasing to the third quarter, so they do have some time to I don't know, to rescale it, or their expectations, or just to change the price point of that one, because I don't believe it's a good value at just $100 less than the Extreme model. You're welcome, Sean. No problem, man. I hope you enjoy it. And, we'll find out more information about this device as we get closer to the launch, which isn't far. It's just the 13th of June, which is actually a day after my birthday. So, it'll be hopefully a happy birthday gift to me. Hopefully when the pre-order goes live today. A lot of things. I got to say, this year has been a crazy year for gaming. Like, we've had some fantastic games this year. We've had some bad lows as well, with like Redfall, with Jedi launching kind of broken, with a lot of PC games launching broken, but they've been good quality titles. Hogwarts launched broken. They patched it up pretty quickly. It's an awesome game, plays well now. Jedi launched broken, and I have to say, Jedi Survivor, it was patched yesterday. I am no longer getting any hitches. It's smooth performance now. The frame rate is smooth. The frame times are smooth. It's the way it should have launched. It's a little upsetting, but it took them less than a week, I would say, to patch it up to a playable condition on the PC. I'm hearing on consoles it's playing a lot better. I'm hearing on consoles the HDR is fixed. So if you're on the fence for Jedi Survivor on PC, I can confidently say that they fixed it. You're not going to have many performance issues. I don't want to say it's perfect, because I don't know everybody's setup out there. But for me, on my RTX 4090, I'm not getting any hitches. It's a very smooth experience. Let me just check one more time to see if this is live. No, it still has not launched. So I'm going to go through the Best Buy listing here. It says, play your way through the handheld console with more games, better graphics, higher performance, games without limits using Windows 10. Experience stunning, beautiful visuals. Games are crisp and clear with no tearing. On a 7-inch 1080p Full HD touchscreen with a smooth 120Hz refresh rate and AMD FreeSync Premium. Equipped with AMD's Ryzen Z1 Extreme Zen 4 architecture, 8 cores, 16 threads, you get a groundbreaking 8.6 teraflops of computational power within your hands. An AMD RDNA 3 graphics, 4GB VRAM, 12 compute units, allows for amazing visuals with blazing fast memory. Swap through your applications and have multiple tabs running with 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5, 6400 RAM. 512 NVMe PCIe 4.2 M.2 SSD gives you the room to store your favorite games and keep load time snappy. Easily upgrade and replace with another M.2 SSD with a single pop open screw. So that's good. You can update it. That's really good. I don't know what size. It says M.2 223. Okay, so it's kind of the same style of SSD that the Steam Deck is using. They also say micro SD card is supported, built with a built-in slot for even more storage and playing options. And they did talk about on the stream how your games will load really fast from the SSD and from the SD card. And I will say, on the Steam Deck, I do use an SD card, and it loads pretty much the same as the internal SSD. So, it's not a bad option. You get yourself a 1 terabyte SD card, and you're good to go loading all of your games on there. Says game anywhere with a handheld mode, so use your Rogue in a 65-watt HDMI mode with an adapter to hook up to your TV, then connect multiple controllers to play with your friends, and even transform your Rogue Ally to a gaming PC using a keyboard and mouse with just one plug through the Rogue XG Mobile. Access to PC, console, mobile games. Rogue Ally allows you to play using Windows 11, game on any platform, including Steam, Xbox Game Pass, and Android apps. Oh, I didn't even know that. So you can use your Android apps. That's right. Windows does have implementation of Android where you can use the apps. Use the Epic Launcher GOG, Galaxy, and other various cloud gaming services. No matter where you buy your games, you can play them on Windows, you can play them on your Rogue Ally. And they just go on to say it was designed for performance that you can expect years of experience in gaming engineering and understanding that gamers need the evolution of a next level handheld gaming console, and that they designed this to be just that. It's trimmed to 608 grams to prevent fatigue when playing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can charge it 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes, included with the 65 watt USB-C power adapter. Advanced user experience with Armoury Crate. We talked about that earlier. So you can fine tune your joysticks. You can change the RGB when you're hooking up your keyboard and mouse to control all the colors, whatnot. You have Dolby Atmos and Smart Amp, virtual 5.12 channel surround sound that is powered by Dolby Atmos technology. You have modern security, login using Windows Hello. 90-day Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is included, that you can play hundreds of PC games on your Rogue Ally. So overall, I'm impressed. I think it's worth the money if you're gonna buy it. If you were holding, it's up for pre-order. Hold on, guys, it's up for pre-order in Canada. I'm pre-ordering it right now. I'm doing this live on the air. Let's go. Go to cart. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's pre-ordered. Let's go. Let's go. It is live. It is live right now for my Canadian brethren. It is live on Best Buy. I repeat, it's live on Best Buy. Let me see if I can put a link. I'll put a link in the chat for those of you that are watching that are in Canada, so you can order it right now. Their site is probably getting nailed, but it is live. Here, I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. Let's go. Let's go. There, I just put it in the chat for you guys. It's live in Canada. Let me go out to Discord and let me tell my peoples that it's live. Sorry, guys. Really excited here. Yes, I got my pre-order in. Awesome. All right, it is live in Canada. I can confirm that I was able to get my pre-order in. I will be joining the Rogue Ally Club, so we will definitely have some Rogue Ally content on the channel. Day one, well, I don't want to say day one, day two, I should have a review up of me having my Rogue Ally. And, you know, we're going to compare it to the Steam Deck and see where it stands. And I have a lot of experience. I've had almost a year. I've had a year with my Steam Deck. Like I said earlier when we were starting the stream, my Steam Deck actually died on the last day of its warranty. So right now it's out for repairs. I'm getting a new one sent to me. And I've had it for a year, so I'm able to distinguish the Rogue Ally from it because I have a lot of experience with the Steam Deck. So I'll really be able to give you guys a concise report on how these two devices compare. Man, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that I was able to get my pre-order in. Someone said Best Buy just told me that they charge you up front. I don't know, man. I pre-order on Best Buy Canada, and I don't get charged until the device ships. So maybe it's different in the States. Some people are saying that they got charged and then the charge fell off right away because it's a pre-order. So I don't know. Your mileage may vary. It might be different in some of the storefronts in the States. It might be different in each state that you're in because every state in the States has different laws. So I'm not quite sure. But it is up for pre-order at Best Buy USA. It is also up for pre-order at Best Buy Canada. I got my pre-order in. I'm excited. I can't wait to get this device and put it through its paces. It's going to be a nice birthday gift for myself. and I'm excited. And I want to know if you guys are excited. You guys excited about this device? Do you think this is going to propel Game Pass? Are you excited to play your Xbox games on there? Do you think this is a better and more viable option than the Xbox Series S? Because it has 8.6 teraflops of performance, which is more than the Xbox Series S. Now, I have to go over all the numbers because I'm just taking them at face value for the numbers that they threw out there. I don't know if this is the FP. I don't know if they're fudging the numbers, if they're doing rapid pack math numbers here. So I'm going to have to really go through it. But if the 8.6 teraflops is true, then this is a really, really powerful device. And Steam Deck should be worried. Spidey Ring saying all Xbox Game Pass titles can be downloaded on the Asus Rog Ally because it includes Windows 11. That is correct. That is correct. Because it has Windows 11, you can download from any storefront that's available in the States. So that's available on PC. So that's GOG, that's the Epic Games Store, that's Ubisoft, that's EA Play, that's, the Microsoft Store, that's Steam. Anything that you can basically do on your PC, you're going to be able to do on this device. You're able to hook this device to your television and use it as a full-fledged PC, hooking up your keyboard and mouse to do some productivity work. That's insane. I don't think a lot of people are buying it for that, but I just think it's awesome that you have that option. I think most people are buying it for a gaming device. And I think the handheld market is really heating up. I wonder what Nintendo thinks about this. Now, there's a report. I don't carry a lot of Nintendo news, so I just didn't bother carrying this story. But there's a report that the Nintendo Switch, they announced that it's not going to be refreshed this year. So you're not going to get a new Nintendo Switch this year. We're probably going to see one in 2024. But this year, we're not going to see one. How is this going to affect the Switch? Like I said, you're able to do emulation on this device. This device, although it doesn't have an OLED screen with the Switch, and I would say the OLED screen is definitely superior, it does have far better performance, and the amount of games and titles that you have available to you from different from different storefronts is mind-blowing. Wow, there's a lot of you guys still here after the presentation. I'm surprised. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. No need to rush a pre-order. Check reviews first. Yes, but if you can pre-order it and they don't charge you till it ships, I think it's better to have it and not want it than to want it and not have it. Say all these these impressions or these pre-reviews go up, and everyone's talking about how great this device is, and then you want this device, and then it's sold out everywhere. Then you can't get it. But what if you pre-order this device and then, you see some of the impressions, they're like, nah, it's not that good, or the battery life dies, or it gets really hot, or I don't like this, I don't like that. Then you can say, you know what, this is not for me, and then you can cancel the order. I think having the option is always better than not having the option at all. No, it does not have mouse pads, and that's one thing, Hot Grits, that's one thing that I am disappointed about. I do like those pads on the Steam Deck. They're really nice for certain games, and just like moving the mouse around and the cursor, it's just a nice experience. Now, I also heard that it has haptic feedback, the console. If someone could confirm that, because like I said, I was trying to get my pre-order up, so I did miss a few things. Somebody did say that they do have haptic feedback. So someone said that they charged them right away. Even PayPal in Canada at Best Buy, they don't charge you until it ships. So, I don't know what to say. It could be the state that you're in, or it just could be a Best Buy USA thing. I don't know. 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, had a text I had to respond to there. Sorry for the dead air. Switch is not about hardware. That's right. Switch is more about the software. I will agree with you there, because the hardware is garbage, and people are going crazy for their software. The the new Zelda game came out today, and it's getting high reviews, man. It's like at I think last time I checked it was at 97, which I predicted. I think I predicted in the high 90s that it would review because, you know, this game has been highly anticipated. In the first game, Breath of the Wild, a lot of people love that game. So, you know, this is an extension of that game. Of course, new elements and whatnot. I'm not saying it's the same game, but the fan base loves this game. So I expected high reviews. It would be really hard for Nintendo to mess this up. And Nintendo, like, you know, apart from Pokemon, you know, they do release games that do get pretty good reviews and that the fans do enjoy. The Nintendo fans are the most loyal fans in gaming. I really, truly believe that. They go out and just purchase the software and purchase the hardware. There's a lot of people I know that are purchasing the new Zelda Switch just for the simple fact that it's Zelda. They already have, they had the original Switch, then they bought an OLED Switch, and I'll be honest, I did the same thing. I have an original Switch, and then I bought the OLED Switch, and then on top of that, they're buying the Zelda Switch. And some of these guys are not even going to open the Switch. They're just going to keep it there as a collector's edition. So Nintendo fans are extremely loyal fans. All companies could wish to have fans as loyal as Nintendo fans. And as much as I shit on Nintendo sometimes, you know, their games are fun. I don't like their business models. Like, I saw them taking down, like, striking people for just looking at, you know, a Zelda video of gameplay of the new Zelda video that was approved gameplay, and they struck them. You know, if you put any of your Nintendo stuff on your channel, they can strike you at any time. So I just don't bother with them, and I think their mentality when it comes to content creators and social media is just old-fashioned. They're way behind, because the more people that see your product, the more people that will buy your product, the more people that will want your product. But they just don't like people to, you know, live stream their stuff or show gameplay that they didn't authorize. And I think that's, I don't know, I think that's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's just a little bit backwards, in my opinion. Okay, so we have confirmation here from Spidey Ring. It says Best Buy in the USA charges pre-orders using PayPal payments immediately. Okay, so that's in the States. They charge for PayPal payments immediately. In Canada, they don't do that. They charge you when the device ships. So that's good. So, you know, I have until the 13th of June, well, before the 13th of June, to fork out the money. We'll most likely be using a lot of that birthday money. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Oh, you guys are so active in the chat today, man. Really appreciate you guys, man. This is the most active my chat's been on a live stream in a long time, man. And the fact that you guys say, hey, you got a nice voice, makes me actually want to talk more. You know, some people, they talk because they like to hear the sound of their voice. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those people that talk just because I like to hear the sound of my voice. I type because I like to hear the clatter on the keyboard. I'll type a lot. I'll type a whole bunch of stuff. I'll talk a whole bunch of trash to you on Twitter. But, you know, on a live stream, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't talk a lot. And you guys are giving me the confidence. You guys are putting the battery in my back to start talking more. Like, I know some of my tech videos are like straight to the point. You know, I don't insert a lot of humor or a lot of my personality into it. I just get straight to the point. I know that's something going forward that I will revise a little bit, give you guys a little bit more of who I am as a person, I guess. You say I have a sultry voice, do you, huh? What? Now, when you guys are typing that stuff in there, please put pause after that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say that and then say pause. Cake batter, no problem, man. I usually stream a lot of launch events. I used to do like everything. I used to do like Intel, AMD, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. And like I said, you know, life changes, work, children. And I just wasn't able to put out as much content as I want. You know, now the kids are my youngest one's a little bit older now. He's in school. So, you know, I don't have him as much in the daytime. You know, I'm managing my work and you know, this YouTube thing I'm trying to do a lot better now. And yeah, I'm just in a better space. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. You know, what do you got to lose? Go all out, give it your all. And, you know, at the end of the day, at least you can say you're doing something that you love to do. And I love to talk about gaming. I love to talk about a lot of things. I like to talk about wrestling. I like to talk about entertainment. I like to talk about pop culture. There's a lot of things I like to talk about. Politics, a lot of things that I like to talk about, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm equally passionate about all of them. But gaming is just one of those things that I really enjoy talking about and really enjoy the experience. You know, I'll be honest with you guys, gaming, you know, I gotta say gaming saved me. I gotta be really honest with you, because there's a lot of times when I was younger where I could have been doing knucklehead things, where I decided, you know, I'm just gonna game and, you know, not involved in certain activities. And gaming is a good escape. It's a good place to go when you're having a bad day, when things aren't going well. You can just go and get away from, you know, the everyday grind, where you can go and meet new people or people that share similar interests with you, where you can go meet a stranger and play a game and have tons of fun with. Or you can go meet a stranger in a sports game and trash talk. There's so much enjoyment to be had from gaming. And then when people make it so toxic and they make it so tribal, it is a turnoff. Like, I do like the Xbox platform, but I like everything. I like the PlayStation 2. I like PC. I like the handhelds. I like everything. And, you know, I'm not going to dislike someone because they like PlayStation or because they like Nintendo. That's just stupid. You know, we're all gamers, and you know, it should be a safe space, and it can get really toxic at times. And yeah, sometimes I address the toxic fanboys because they just go too far with certain things. But at the end of the day, gaming should be fun. You know, it should be fun. And if it's not fun and you're getting up and you're not gaming and you're just tweeting out Xbox sucks or PlayStation sucks, you got to reevaluate your life, man. Not gonna lie, guys, my stomach is kind of rumbling. I'm getting a little bit hungry here, and I see you guys are still here with me, and man, I appreciate this. Honestly, tell you guys, this is gonna make me live stream a lot more, because sometimes I don't live stream as much because, you know, it's not as fun when there's like 5 people watching, you know. You're like, oh, it's just like 5 people watching, and don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for those 5 people whenever they did watch. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a lot more enjoyable when there's more of you guys to engage with, right? So I'm gonna be cutting this stream now. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe to the channel. I don't know, maybe about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I got hacked and I lost a lot of subscribers from that hack. So I'm trying to get my subscribers back up. So if you're not subbed, please sub to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter at D_batch. Of course, YouTube, you're here, so just hit the like and subscribe button. Once again, thank you guys for rocking out with me. I appreciate it. We should have some more content this week. I don't think I'm going to touch on this anymore. I think today's stream and my impressions after the event, I think it's enough, really. If something major comes out, then maybe I'll pop up and do another video on this. But until it launches, I don't think there's a point in me really talking about this more, at least in the video format. On Twitter, you know, I find new information or, you know, something's going on, I will tweet it out and I will discuss it there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So once again, I want to thank you guys for rocking out with me. Thank you for the support. It means a lot. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.